I guess at the nub of it, the fear is that Russia, either officially backed by the state or unofficially, has been influencing the situation in America and also possibly the UK too. How worried should we be? Vladimir's laughing at this, by the way, which isn't a great start. Are you laughing because, you know, it happens, or are you laughing because it's a crazy question?
Because it's a crazy question.
Is it?
Yes, and you shouldn't be worried at all. There's no way that Russian propaganda can really influence the American voter or the British voter, for that matter.
Why not? Why not? Well, why can't hacking into the system? We know how during even our election campaign there's been all sorts of targeting
yes, well, that's true,
people.
because you can influence yourselves. I mean, your media, for instance, obviously influences your watchers because you're part of this country. But when a foreign country tries to influence, it backfires. It never works.
Do you think that's fair, Michael? Do you think it backfired this time? Because I'm sure Hillary Clinton would disagree.
Well, it didn't backfire with regard to the impact on the election, which I think was significant. Now, it's immeasurable, all right? So we are very careful back home to say the exact influence on the campaign is not just unknown, it is unknowable. So President Trump is unarguably the legitimate president of the United States. But there's no question. You had the entire American intelligence community with a high confidence judgment point out this sequence of events in which the data was stolen, weaponized, pushed back into the American political process, and then trolled, heavily trolled, by agents of the Russian Federation to pull it forward inside social media, inside general social consciousness. And let me compliment the Russians. This was a magnificent covert influence campaign. And Vladimir does have one point, all right? Well, covert influence, covert influence rarely creates a fracture in a society. Covert influence succeeds when it's aware of and exploits pre-existing fractures in a society. And that's exactly what the Russian services did. Give them credit. They knew us at least as well as we knew ourselves.
OK, so what are we actually talking about here? You know, we've become aware, haven't we, in our British election of these, what are they called, the little robot things and memes and things where people can tweet from fake sources and they're actually robots. So
and
all
they
of that
appear to be a mass when it could be a few individuals.
Well, exactly, and it appears to be a mass. So all of that kind of thing goes on. Is that what you're talking about?
That is part of the overall campaign. Okay. There are a variety of tools and magnificently synchronized, beginning with almost certainly using Russian criminal gangs to steal the original information, the DNC, Democrat National Committee emails, John Podesta's emails, and so on, pull them back into the hands of the Federation, the Russian Federation, where they, at their own choosing, then push it in accordance with their rhythm, their sense of rhythm of the American electoral process. So, for example, the massive tranche, the first dump of information, takes place as the party is gathering for its national convention. That's not accidental.
So, Vladimir, I mean, listening to what Michael said, and undoubtedly...
Yes, I must say one thing. There's no proof. That's the whole issue. I mean, come on, if you have this proof, put it on the table and make it very clear that this is what the Russians have done. I mean, they must be jumping up and down with joy in the Kremlin.
The security agencies have said that, but the security agencies in the States have said quite clearly it was the Russians.
They've said it, and the Russians have said no. And is the American word for some reason more to be believed than the Russian one? I say, show me. After all, we're journalists, right?
Yeah.
Show me, and then I'll accept it. But I can't see it.
I think one of the reasons why people are prepared to believe it without proof is because there is a sense that Vladimir Putin would like to do that, and he would like to, assert it. It feels like it's part of his...
that there's a very strong anti-Russian sentiment in the West. It hasn't been born today. It's been around for a long time. And the minute you say Russian, people kind of react to it. And that's why they're prone to believe it. And that's the way they've been conditioned. As in Russia, people are prone to believe that when you say American, it's something negative. This is what the media have done, by the way, in both countries. And not only that, but the politicians.